What's up, everybody? It's Trey Smith with College Game Time, back with another Game Time reaction video. So today kicked off SEC Media Days. Commissioner Greg Sankey, in his opening press conference, came right out of the gates stating that the SEC would be moving its media days to Dallas, Texas next year, which, by the way, is right in the heart of Big 12 country. It's also a great place to host an event like this, so I don't want to ruffle up too much as it pertains to that, but he did say that they're going to light up the Dallas skyline with SEC colors next year for SEC Media Days. But there is a clip I'm going to play for you here that I'm going to react to, and I would like to get your thoughts down in the comments as well as it pertains to, I don't know, like something about this. It's very catch-22 because I don't disagree with anything that he says. In fact, he's 100% right, but it's also like, there's a little bit, it feels like the pot calling the kettle black, but in a weird way. He was asked his thoughts on expansion as it pertains to the SEC. Is the SEC still looking to absorb more teams? The lady that asked the question prefaced that there are a lot of teams who are interested in joining the conference, actually referenced Sankey saying that in the past. And before I play you this clip, I just want to remind you that he made a comment, I think, at the NIL Summit, something about conferences who are raising their flags, somewhere in that ballpark, that seemed to be directed at Brett Yormark. Yormark was asked about that at Big 12 Media Days by the 360 guys, and Yormark responded with, saying basically that he called Sankey. They're on the same page. He answered the question well, but just knowing that, and maybe it's all the media is doing, maybe it's all people on YouTube like me's doing who are trying to create this, heel versus face, or create this friction between the Big 12 and the SEC, particularly Greg Sankey and Brett Yormark. But when he makes this comment I'm about to play, this is what I want to get your thoughts on, and I'm going to share mine as well. So here we go. Again, talking about expansion, talking about programs that are possibly interested in joining the SEC, and here's his response.
I've been careful. When I was here in Atlanta last year, I was clear that we're focused on our growth to 16. And I've watched others message about, we're not done yet. I referenced this. We're going to go to this particular reason. I just don't think that's healthy. People could criticize me to say, wow, you really sprung it on people in 21, which we did.
He's watched others. Who do we think he's talking about here? So here's my issue. Not my issue, but here's my thoughts. First off, he's right. The way the SEC expanded their conference, all those things he said, geographically contiguous, being able to maintain a super conference with what they currently have, or at least as, starting next year with the additions of Texas and Oklahoma, to go with the product they already currently have and the money that they're already going to be bringing in, and the, championships and all that stuff that are going to continue to thrive as a part of the SEC. If you don't look at how the move impacted any other conference, it was a good move. Obviously a great move for the SEC, but you could even make an argument a great move for college football, simply because it keeps everything in this general southeastern region. Everything can be contained right there. It's what's best for the schools that are in the conference. It's what's best for the media, negotiations, all that type of stuff. But to say, it does come off that he's sort of saying, oh, I don't think it's healthy. And he's probably right on that as well, that maybe it's not healthy to come out so brazen and say, we're not done, we're looking to expand, da-da-da-da-da-da. But what he's got to realize is that by making the move that he made, which was essentially ripping the heart and soul out of the Big 12 conference. Now, understand, when I say ripping the heart and soul out, I'm not talking about fan base or even product on the field, okay? I'm talking about the money. When you rip the heart and soul out of the financials of a particular conference, you can't then go back and say, oh, well, the way that they're doing business, I just don't think is healthy. I just don't think that's right. Not that he directly said that, and maybe he was talking about something else. I can't think of anything else he would be referring to. And look, Yormark expanding the Big 12 coast to coast may not be what's best for college football overall, but you know what? He's got to do what's best for the conference, just like Sankey did what was best for the SEC. And with all the talks right now around UConn and Colorado and then a possibly package deal of Arizona and Arizona State, listen, I appreciate what Yormark did. He took the blow, he absorbed it, gathered a plan, and then began to execute that plan. And he hasn't made any, he kind of just strikes me as a guy who is who he is. And so, yeah, he's been very vocal about what his plan is, not the details of it, but the fact that he does have a plan. And I feel like he's done a phenomenal job given the cards he was dealt as it pertains to stepping in, losing your top two bell cows, essentially, the only two blue blood football programs in the conference. Not saying they were the best product on the field, not even saying they've got the largest and best fan bases, because they don't. But as it pertains to media negotiations, as it pertains to money, those were your two sort of, and they go to the SEC. Yormark did what he had to do. He became aggressive. Can't really give him credit for the addition of the 4 new schools, but as far as what is getting ready to happen, at least what I think is getting ready to happen, and the conversations that he's been having as it pertains to, and the tone and rhetoric he's had as it pertains to wanting to get the conference back to to keep the conference at 14 schools, even with the departures of OU and Texas. Now, he's been very clear. He's very excited and very pleased with the 12 that they will have after those 2 schools leave. But he's looking to expand, and he may be looking to expand beyond 16. I mean, time's going to tell. Like I said, right now there's a lot of smoke around UConn, Colorado, and then even possible package deal between Arizona and Arizona State. But again, that dominoes all contingent on what the Pac-12 media deal says. I just think it's kind of, I don't know, like the reason why Yormark is having to do what he's doing is because of what Sankey chose to do as it pertains to expanding his conference. And now Sankey's saying, well, I just don't think it's healthy to do it that way. Anyways, I'm curious to know your thoughts. What do you think in the comments? Do you think this was directed at the Big 12 and Yormark? Do you think there is some friction that's there? Or is this about something totally different? Sankey just sharing his thoughts objectively. But if we're going to be objective, he's not wrong. He's not. Everything he said was accurate. And quite frankly, this all might be the demise of college football, really, as we know it. I mean, the fans and the passion and the pageantry and traditions, well, whatever traditions are remaining when it's all said and done. But I mean, between the NIL, which has been a huge topic of conversation at SEC Media Days, between the NIL, between realignment, between, conferences as we know them completely shifting and changing, I'm not convinced that's what's best for college football overall. And it could be what destroys it and turns it into a completely different product that, is way different than what you and I grew up watching. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. And that's it for me. Trey Smith, College Game Time.